Okay, I'm going to show you a typical video of whiplash. Talking about anatomy never works, but actually seeing it is pretty cool. So here is a typical whiplash. It's going to zoom in and show you the tissue in between the joints and how it can tear. So when the head is going forward, you get a pretty dramatic pull, and it's the speed in which it happens. Most people who get in a whiplash don't think that anything really happened to them because it was such a quick jerk. But if you had a rubber band and you were to pull it at the end and then yank on it really fast, the chances of it splitting are high. So that's a great picture of the back, and that's a great picture of the front. And a lot of times when patients come in here, they don't realize that both sides have been torn, and that's why they're so tight. Okay? There are ligaments really high. A lot of patients don't understand that their neck goes all the way up behind their ears. This is the most dangerous whiplash that we see. You can tear the ligaments right next to your brain, where your brainstem comes out, and the only symptom you would have is fatigue, maybe a change in prescription of eyeglasses or some blurriness with reading, and a tight jaw. So we love to do a quick exam and some x-rays to see how intact the ligaments are holding the vertebra, and very cheap testing x-rays. I really wanted to take the time to address whiplash. The 3 top treatments for whiplash actually make you worse, okay? First one, anti-inflammatories. When you take an anti-inflammatory, you're stopping inflammation, and your body is inflaming, and you don't know why. So why does your body inflame? It's not a mistake. This is a normal process that the body does with an injury. And what it wants to do is, the whole purpose is to bring nutrition to the tissue that's injured so it can begin to heal. If you take anti-inflammatories, the first bad thing is that you will feel good, so you will push through the pain and injure more. You will stretch a tissue that's trying to heal and delay its ability to heal. The other thing is, when you delay the tissue to heal and it gets overstretched, it produces scar tissue. It also is going to delay the amount of time, so now you can actually stack injuries. So you can start with one injury and have 4 or 5 little injuries on top of a major one. It's kind of a big deal. The other recommendation for whiplash is muscle relaxers, and I would like to address this. Muscle relaxers take a bracing muscle, one that is tight, again, not understanding why it's tight, and it forces it to relax. If you have a sprained ankle, most people have one of those, they'll realize that it gets tight and stiff and swells because it's healing. Again, if that muscle doesn't brace the joint and protect it from stretching the tissue, again, we have another scenario where you're going to put insult over injury. So you're going to continue to injure it over and over, so you will delay the healing once again. A typical whiplash should take somewhere between 3 to 6 months, and it can take a year, heal incorrectly like a knot in a tree, and become a problem for the rest of your life. I call that injury collecting. When you go to a quick ER, they are doing the best they can to relieve your symptoms. The chiropractors, and particularly in my clinic, we want to look at the neurological component, where the brain learns how to go back to normal instead of just taking that injury with you in the future. The third most common treatment is to stretch tight muscles. So let's just recap. If you take an anti-inflammatory and you stretch the muscle and you're on muscle relaxers, I can guarantee that you will continuously carry on this injury forward until you have actually damaged the deep inner part of the joint. Cartilage, disc herniations, nerve damage, tingling into the hands, slight changes in eye prescriptions, or there's just a whole entire list of symptoms that go with this because of how many nerves that run down through the neck and the damage that occurs when you are adding insult to injury. So please, if you have a whiplash, don't take anti-inflammatories. muscle relaxers and stretch. Get some x-rays, make sure your spine is lined up, and let us get you healing correctly so you don't get that knot in a tree and you don't collect injuries.